This was a speech at a California school board meeting from one of the members of Gays Against Groomers. This is straight 43 seconds of fire. Listen.
Good evening. My name is Mario Presents, and I'm here as a representative from Gays Against Groomers Coalition with over 250,000 followers across social media, and as the uncle of 2 students in your district. It has come to our attention that the district intends to teach transgenderism to children under the age of 10 without parental consent. If I were to teach your child about my sexuality without your consent or involvement, I'd be arrested. But when the school district does it, it's education. Districts are teaching transgenderism when they should be teaching science, math, and language. Instead, teachers are hiding student pronouns from their parents under the guise of gender affirmation. Can you imagine the uproar if schools were evangelizing or baptizing children without parental consent? Isn't that sort of what you're doing? You don't tuck these children in at night. You don't teach them to stand up to bullies. You don't pay their medical bills. And you certainly don't hold their hands in the hospital. These parents do. Simple truths based in science need to be upheld for our society to flourish. The gross indoctrination we're seeing is creating a lifetime of medication and hormones because you can't simply pause puberty. Men cannot become women, and sex chromosomes are encoded into the fabric of our DNA. Simply affirming a teenager's gender is akin to affirming anorexia. Both are body dysmorphic disorders, yet we don't teach the starving teenagers how to binge and purge or affirm that they are indeed overweight. However, school districts, including yours, seem to have no issue secretly teaching girls that they can be boys because they feel uncomfortable in their bodies. A grown adult woman can't get a hysterectomy without extensive medical forms and doctor's visits. But Dr. Saphir over the hill in Sherman Oaks is willing to do top and bottom surgery, sterilizing children for life. Parents must be a part of the education process when teaching sexuality to students, and it definitely doesn't need to happen under the age of 10 years old.
Oh, preach, Mario. Whew. He is exactly right. That's an uncle who's standing up for his family in that school district, and that's true. He's a fascist. Isn't that what the media will say? Oh, they have said it. It's fascism. Speaking out against the state. Speaking out against the things that you can't control or the things that you can't criticize are, as Orwell said, that's what ultimately controls you. Just find out what you can't criticize, and that's what controls you. Those are the people ruthlessly in charge. He is exactly right on this. It is becoming, there's so many things wrong with this. I have a couple of things here. Let me get into this. The story of, what's his face? Leah Thomas. I was looking at this. There's been a couple of interviews with some of the female swimmers on the female swim team who have been forced to share a locker room with Leah Thomas. They're not comfortable, but their comfort is considered to be irrelevant. That's the whole thing. Parents are irrelevant. Women who are uncomfortable with this are irrelevant. Men who are uncomfortable with this are irrelevant. You just have to support it. Daily Caller has this story today. A top trans medical organization recommends castration for, hey, Ken, there's a new identity, eunuch identity. I've never even heard of this. What is that? They want to remove all male genitals, dudes who want to take away all their male stuff, their frankenbeans, all the other masculine attributes, everything else. They are listed alongside gender identities and sexual conditions like non-binary and intersex in the 8th edition of what they call WPATH, WPATH, which is the World Professional Association for Transgender Health. It sounds like a wrestling organization. And in this corner, he removed his frankenbeans as well as all other masculine attributes. It is the super eunuch. I mean, seriously, it's... I thought that Mario, who's with Gays Against Groomers there, he made a very fantastic point. It is gender dysmorphia disorder. I do think so much of this is mental, and I think a lot of it's copycat. And I think that social media plays into a major part of the copycat. They definitely, this encouragement of it, I think is, and especially in the classroom by some of these teachers. But it is a mental issue. And the great point that he made was anorexia is also body dysmorphia. This gender issue is body dysmorphia. Bulimia is body dysmorphia. And he said, and you don't affirm that someone is fat or encourage them to starve themselves or binge eat. You don't do that. You don't affirm that and make the situation worse. So why is it allowed here?